Alright, let's challenge. We start this one off and practically the whole school's gathered together hearing out Clavel's announcement. Okay, it doesn't seem like this was ever a huge community complaint, but I remember some people wanting more battles the last arc. I know this because I'm people, but this arc said bet. Let me battle indeed. Eventually they make their way to the field and it feels like the special event that it should. Nemo's floating around and explains that it'll be a tag battle with the gym leaders against the Elite Four. Without wasting a beat, Iono calls up Dot, who only has a small panic attack. I feel like Dot's lack of pushback shows how comfortable she must be with Iono at this point. Poppy takes the stage and oh, she's just adorable. With anime, the only cue that let me know that she was a kid was her voice, cause otherwise they could tell us she was 50 and we just have to accept it. There's definitely a big things come in small packages to her and that's confirmed by her Kaparaha. Now the main rule seems to be that only the students can terrestrialize, and I honestly think that's fair for what this course is intended for. Plus it's great power scaling to show that they need 2 against 1 for the Elite Four. Or the 4 Heavenly Kings, whichever you want to call them, cool names on each coast. So, brimming with excitement, Iono makes the first move, but Poppy's the one to take control of the weather and the field. It feels like the 2 of them should have the advantage, but they would need to be lock and step, whereas Steel only needs to manage her own. It's cool too to see this Tinkaton as a more powerful and emotionally stable Tinkatink. All the action gets Quaxley fired up, and he uses some fancy footwork to generate friction, thereby charging Bellabolt's electricity. That's pretty genius and canonically makes this duck smarter than me. He gets a neat springboard off the frog and takes advantage of it to have a sweet mid-air terrestrialization. Though despite the power boost in terms of raw strength, it goes to Tinkaton. I tell you, it was a great decision to start off with Nanjomo. Her infectious energy just gets you hype and it really boils over as she scores them the first win. It also seems like to win, you only need to defeat one of the Elite Four's Pokemon. That does sort of feel like training wheels, but at the end of the day, this is only training, so... Nonetheless, it seems like that win's got Dot feeling inadequate because Iono, well, carried. We get a pretty wholesome moment though as the more experienced ones offer Dot some reassurance. You know she'll get there. This battle was a good way too to have Dot score a win without making it seem like she's at the level of Elite Four. In fact, with only minimal support, she was able to hold her own against one, and I think that's definitely respectable. So, it's amazing they thought the only thing we needed to see of Coral was... Although, we do also get to see her competitive side, just unable to accept the stalemate that she created. Don't worry though, this certainly isn't the last we've seen of her. Now that she's cleared the way, a path is made for Brassius' triumphant appearance. Incredible knees, this one. There's something I actually really like about the dynamic of Brassius and Roy. I feel like Brassius would be a good mentor. And together they get to take on Brassius' rival, the dragon user Hassel. And man, remember when dragons actually had to be dragons? Hassel feels a bit more direct in his methods, what with nearly getting Coco impaled. I'd say it evens out though as Coco gets his revenge with the disarming voice. Then, especially when he attempts to eat Flapple, this match is off to a weird start. One sick thing about this match though is they sort of show off a combination move. I say sort of because it's pretty much just Fuecoco's attack engulfing Dollibs, but it looks cool. It looks amazing actually when Baxley hops into the flame tornado submerging itself. It's really straight Sakuga. Colza and Roy rehash their combo attack which puts the others on defense. This moment creates the opportunity for Roy to terrestrialize and the fire is so exquisite it feels like fireworks. To cap it all off, we even get some flame ice action. In the end, Hassel wins the Elemental War though, breaking through the barrier to take down the duo's Pokemon in one go. And despite the loss, Roy's still pretty fired up from having such a good match. It also seems like, whether intentionally or not, these fights serve to balance out their previous win-lose streaks. I could totally also see how Roy's in high spirits, even Hassel's moved to tears. Then, arguably, we save the best for last with quick cameos as we see Rika take out Sidian and his well-designed partner. It's always good to see him in his stoicism, and once they're cleared, Liko's free to take the stage against her battle against Chili. Hype all around. First thing that seems clear to me is how strategic they were in these matchups. Dot, who isn't a very experienced battler, gets to go up against the child, who assumedly is also the least experienced of the Elite Four. Her win-lose record is balanced out in a way that feels believable. Then, Roy gets paired up with Brassius, who's eager to take on his rival. Although they lost, it doesn't feel like too bad of a blow since Roy had his moment to shine. As far as the matches themselves go, I like them both about even, but probably Roy's a hair more. Maybe that has to do with the fact the combination stuff made it actually feel like a tag battle. This actually all sort of takes me back when things were just low stakes and you were just there to learn. I really think this arc depicts that accurately. As far as who will win between Liko and Rika, I'd probably have to guess Liko if we're going to continue balancing the win-lose streaks. Although, Horizons has shown it can be completely unpredictable. Coral is a perfect example of that. I really appreciated this episode not just for the action, but trying something new while doing so. Giving it an A.